Well, hello, my friends. I bought myself some boots at the thrift store for $10. They're $200 boots. hmm So that way, when I'm on the bike, my motorcycle, I can kick people's mirrors off if they slide over my lane, shall I say. I hope you're doing well. Now, the topic of this live stream is how we're going to deal with grief. Primarily when we lose someone. So we shall attack that. Now, well, since I am no stranger to grief, perhaps I can help you. Lost loved ones or whatever, help you with it. Big Rex, Texas. Don't worry, man. I've been watching you. You'll always have a following, and don't let anybody tell you you're anything. I appreciate that. You know, I was out in Hobby, Texas, near Houston, doing hurricane relief, and those are the most loveliest people. I don't know what part of Texas you are. Hello, Hope Guide 112. By my deed, I honor him, BH. Okay. Nope, Guide. The humongous warrior of the wasteland, Ayatollah of rock and roll. I love that. You guys are super. So yeah, I bought these for $10 at the thrift store. And also got, I'm not going to use it for wine. Oh, Outback Steakhouse. Someone must have stolen this, and they sold it at the thrift store. So this is, I'm going to use it for a plumb bob. Some of you that have built that, I'm going to hook a string to it. This will be a nice little plumb bob. You hang it, and then it gives you basically your perfect vertical measurement. So it also comes with this, yeah, nice little pocket knife right there. That's what I call a pocket knife, baby. This is my version. This is the push dagger wine opener pocket knife, you know. Oh, we already got a troll. It says message held for review. In the oil field to measure the tanks. Oh, cool. Wow. Beautiful, my friend. Yeah, hello, Warthog. Already got 2 messages that have bit the dust already. You know, I had to get a hold of YouTube Community Standards, and they emailed me, and they offered the information that a lot of these people that are trolling are actually under the age of 18, so they're cracking down on them. What can I say, right? So I found me some sour than sweet Sour Patch Kids. I'm a kid. Kids watermelon. So Who we got here? We got Joe. That Joe Schmo. I like that. He's got an encryption here. Cool, Joe. How are you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing well. Yeah. Hope you're doing well. So the subject today is grief. Today is the 69th year birthday of my sister, Deborah Joy Spring. And we'll go back, I'll tell you the story. She was born February 23rd, 1957. She would have been 69 years old today, my older sister. She was mentally retarded. And I could remember 63 years back, I was 1 year old. And my seasoned subscribers, if you would take care of any trolling for that for me. I'm not going to look at the comments right now. I want to stay focused. So I can remember back 63 years. I remember when they came, the social workers came and picked up my sister Debbie. She was 6 years old, okay? And I was very attached to her. We had a great, I didn't know she was mentally retarded, and it wouldn't have made a difference to me. I just remember her smile, how loving she was. And due to the fact my mother wanted a perfect daughter, well, finally she just went cuckoo. And she did the same thing to my brother and I. Same damn thing. So she always had a beautiful smile, was laughing, and the only time I ever saw her crying was that time. I can mind you, it was so intensive in my memory, 63 years ago. So I'm hoping that this true story of my life will help you guys. So my mother never offered any information when she died in 1984. My brother also, he died at 19 in 1984, November 15th. And then I find out at 40 years old, I went ahead and did some research, had to pay quite, back then, a lot of money. This was 24 years ago, so she passed away on her birthday. February 23rd of 1984. My mother used to walk around and she used to say, "I'm cursed, I'm cursed." And she drew in all kinds of demonic forces. And it took me till I was 50 years old to get that shit off of me. So, all different religions talk about generational curses. Well, my mother brought that upon herself. So, happy birthday, Deborah Joy Spring. I felt her spirit. I feel her spirit all the time. So this is a special day. So I'm getting the grief that I put in a bunker and a locker in my soul. I'm getting all of that out. I'm going to go ahead and finish my grieving. I'm going to move on. When I went to Mandela Springs in North Carolina, it was February 23rd of 2020. And was doing the Wim Hof workshop, which changed my life. Robbie Linfesti is a good friend. Real good friend. I'm going back up there. Probably stay up there for the rest of my life. He's got a retreat, 67 acres. And you could literally reset yourself. It's an eco retreat. So Jesse Coomer was the co-speaker at the time. He's a really beautiful man. He's a Wim Hofer too. He's got a master degree in training people, just like Rob does. So I forgot about it was my sister's birthday until Jesse said, "I want you to focus on the inside of yourself, and any toxicity or grief, I want you to pull it out. And now it's time to let it loose." Now he's a spiritual man, but no particular religious affiliation. But this is the best religious, as you can say, experience I've ever had in my life. Excuse me. So he said today is February 23rd. It's time to change. Time to go ahead and reset. And it clicked. And I remembered it was my sister's birthday. I felt this presence, and I knew that God allowed my sister's spirit to hang with me. It was the most beautiful feeling that I ever had in my life. It changed my life because I several times had near-death experiences, close calls, you name it, I've had them. So what I'm trying to say is, no matter what you're going through in your life, no matter who you lost, whether it's children, I've lost 2 sons, brother, sister, and it goes on and on and on. Mother, father, friends, uncles, aunts. I have many predecessors. So what I try to do is, instead of giving up and saying hell with it, either killing myself, which I'm not going to do, please don't. If you're considering that, don't do it. It's going to get better, I assure you. By the time we get through this conversation, I've already put into motion my Native American empathic energy. For all of you that are listening, including you trolls, I'm going to reset you, troll, and you're not going to say anything negative to anyone anymore. I can do this because I was born with this power. I was born a very powerful empath. But I'm cautious. I'm like an octopus. I keep my tentacles very close. Every once in a while I'll do this and kind of put a little good, loving, healing energy out there. Today I'm going to put one of my arms, one of my tentacles, and radiate that energy. So if you're familiar with what an empath is and their abilities, so that's the story of my sister, Deborah Joy Spring. So as we say, happy birthday. And it's a good day. It's a really good day. So the rest of the day, after we get through with this, we're just going to do fun stuff. I put my little train set together inside on the table, so I think you'll enjoy that. I'll set the phone up where you can watch it go round and around and around. Like the wheels on the bus go, Sylvester Stallone. Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round. Bill Clinton. The wheels on the bus go round and round. So, unbelievable. God and the universe has been so good to me. I've had so many close calls. I never forget to say thank you. I'm a big, strong man. I'm a black belt at Taekwondo. That doesn't mean shit. Not a damn thing. I'm very humble. I have really good capabilities. That doesn't mean shit. What means shit is being kind, to be loving to yourself, to others. because I don't like the alternative to be cold and cruel and bitter. I used to wake up at times, and this was because of my childhood. I'd wake up every morning miserable, hateful. But I never intentionally hurt anyone. Yes, I was unpleasant. Yes, I would give people throat massages, but they deserved it, okay? It wasn't just out of spite or hatefulness. They attacked me first. Yes, I would beat the shit out of someone. Yeah. Yes, I would taekwondo them. But it was a defensive strategy. Only as the last resort. The last resort. So you've lost a child, and that's the worst freaking thing you can go through. Especially if the child's really young. You've lost that child. I got healing for you, okay? I got some healing for you. I'm going to help you get through it. I'm empathic. I have a lot of energy, a lot of healing ability. Lost a brother, sister, father, mother, uncle, aunt, friend. You know, I would like to believe that there is an afterlife. I can't for sure tell you there is, but I would say the probability is it's got a pretty good chance of it. I've had a lot of signs that could not be coincidences throughout my life. After a loved one has died, there would be an astronomical event that out of this world that would happen that would bring me up and realize that, you know what, perhaps it's not the end. Perhaps I'll see them one point, not in their same form, as energy, just pure, beautiful energy. So don't give up, okay? Some of you may have lost someone recently. A friend of mine that he just lost his grandfather, 89 years old, mentor to him. Reason why he went into the military, the reason why he's a strong, powerful man, because of his grandfather, and lost him over the weekend. So I reached out, I shook his hand, I said, man, I said, take this healing energy and may your grief be quick and may it be productive and get it over with and as fast as you can, but take all the time you need. And he's a strong man himself. He's strong-minded, strong-willed. And, you know, I built the swords for him and the push blade, you know, stuff like that. I built that for him. And he teared up. I know the guy was hurting. He was hurting. So when I see someone's hurting, and if it's not an attachment to them being evil, I will help them. And I won't even say anything. I'll just zap them, as I say, with my healing energy. So that's what I'm doing right now during this conversation. So I would suggest if you could sit down somewhere and accept it, okay, because it's a gift from God. I mean, it's something that I was born with. I can't explain it. I can't tell you how I propel this energy, but I can do it. So it's 1/8 of my power is what I give. 1/8. And that's plenty. My cat, Cheech, he was very sick, and I used my energy. Of course, I gave him antibiotics too, but even before the antibiotic, he started getting better, but I went ahead and gave him the antibiotic. So, again, happy birthday, Deborah Joy Spring. Born February 23rd, 1957, passed 1984, February 23rd, on her birthday. And let me tell you one quick thing here. My mother didn't care. At that time, in 63, is when she was taken. In 63, my mother didn't care one fucking bit that she was going to be put in an asylum with all kinds of criminally type individuals that were nuts. Molesters, they put all mentally retarded, they put people that were mentally ill all in one little fucking place. And she went through hell, and I heard her crying out for me in my mind. And I couldn't do a damn freaking thing because my mother wouldn't tell me a damn thing. I couldn't do anything. I was 22 years old when she passed away and my brother passed away. Within months. So that's a hard freaking pill to swallow. If I can do it, you can do it, okay? Don't give up. Get counseling. Whatever your religious belief is, enhance it. Make it stronger. It doesn't matter. God and the universe will recognize you. It doesn't matter your religious persuasion, your spirituality. I see it all the time. I see healing. I see love in all different religions. Don't be judgmental. Don't. You're just screwing your own self, literally. You're just fucking up your own self. It's a beautiful day today. Get out there if you happen to be in an area where the weather is reasonably well, or go out there and dress for the weather, or I would suggest if you can handle the cold, it will reset you. Go out there in the cold. Lay down there with just your underwear or something on the snow and do snow angels. I mean, I've done that. Reset yourself. There's tools to do it. The cold will reset you instantly. If you can't do too much, just put your hand under the cold water, okay, on the faucet, and watch how it resets you. Yeah, it's a little unpleasant at first. But I've metamorphosized where I can go from any room temperature or whatever, outside temperature, into sub-freezing water and have no ill effects and just adapt just like that, baby. Because I'm strong and I do it. So I want you guys to be productive, talk amongst yourselves, communicate. I want you to help me with my energy, my empathic energy. There are some of you out there that are Christians, that are Hindus, that are Muslims, whatever your persuasion. I want you to dig deep. I want you to help others with your spiritual persuasion right here. We got 11 people, and it's going to get bigger here, okay? I want you to help them. I want this to be a super healing event. I make fun of the televangelists and these guys, and, you know, mainly them. I don't make fun of Christians, Catholics, Jews. I don't make fun of them. I make fun of the absurdity of people who make a lot of money off of poor people and don't even give a damn. But we'll focus on healing because that's where it's at. I'll tell you how to do it. So start by making beautiful comments. Look at the comments that are there on your phone or your computer of others. Focus on them. Ask your God, your higher power. Ask the universe to help them. And just, if you feel, respond to someone and try to help them, okay? No trolling allowed. No trolling. No hatefulness. Because I'm going to tell you, along with my empathic energy, there's I will say, a wicked defense system that I can't tell you how it works. But when God gives someone, I'll give you an example. Those that God uses, if someone tries to troll them or hurt them, that empathic force defends itself, okay? So I warn you, I will fairly warn you, don't defy that energy. Don't defy the laws of nature, the laws of God that you can't understand. Please don't do it. It's not beneficial to you. So if you'll do that, I'll continue to talk and tell you about my life story, about my grief, okay? So from that point, my brother and I, with no warning, and I remember the day, I remember the event. I remember the event. This was years later from when they took my sister. This was October 22nd, 1969. How can I forget? My mother lost it. A neighbor called, and the police were there. This was in Waterbury, Connecticut. I'm going to deal with this grief right now, and I'll suggest you guys do the same. Waterbury, Connecticut. I was 7 years old. My brother was 4 years old. I was 7, he was 4, okay. His name was Brian Keith Spring. So a turmoil of hatred came out of my mother. Hatred. And she erupted, and demonic forces went everywhere, just everywhere. She was filled with demonic forces. So much hate. Always giving me and my brother the evil eye, my older brother. So I would say what probably was the camel or the straw that broke the camel's back with my brother was very difficult. He was a paranoid schizophrenic, had a lot of issues. At that time, they didn't understand this. But my mother cruelly, my father locked him in the cellar for 3 days. Had no way to use the bathroom, no food, no water. He was screaming, crying, and no one could hear outside the house. Brand new freaking house they had in Waterbury, Connecticut. Brand new house. But you know what? It didn't matter. They didn't have brand new beautiful attitudes. The same crappy, wicked attitudes. So that was the reason mainly. So the social workers came. Police were there. And they took myself and my brother. And we didn't know what was going on. I was 7. He was 4. They removed us. Even though my mother was wicked, she was my mother. They arrested both of them for child abuse. They put my mother in a mental institution for 3 weeks. She deserved to go there. They arrested my father. He lost his job. They lost their house. All because of my mother's wickedness. I used to blame my brother because my mother conditioned me to blame my brother, but it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. Yeah, he was mean. Yeah, he sexually abused me and fucked me up my ass when I was, no trolling. I'm warning you, when I was 2 years old. 2 years old. You know what an anal fissure is? Well, courtesy of him. But he doesn't remember it, so I've had to forgive him. Could you do that? Gives you power, gives you kindness and love in your heart. So I might have the strength of 5, 10, 15 men, right? In my hands. Maybe one man at the age of 64. Okay. I am extremely powerful, physically, mentally, and spiritually. But just because I have enough strength to break someone's trachea with one hand doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Do I feel like doing it sometimes? Oh, hell yeah. When someone talks about my daughter and trolls when I say, yeah, my daughter gave this to me. And, well, the first comment, and I'll just briefly say this. Actually, I'm not going to say it. Yeah, I would, if that person was there, they might be in need of a body bag. If they're lucky, they might be in need of medical assistance. The cops won't get there fast enough. Okay, I'm just telling you who I am. No one disrespects me or my family or my friends. If you're with me, you're safe, okay? I will tell you that. Whether if we're doing this or literally with me, if we're out in the lake and there's alligators everywhere, they're not going to mess with you because I'm super powerful. I can communicate with these animals. They will not. I've done it before. People have looked at me, how in the hell do you do that? I'm just able to do that. I don't have to prove a damn thing. So my brother and I are separated, put in different foster homes. Actually, I apologize. The first foster home was hell. They're northern rednecks up in Connecticut, by the way. We were put in a foster home, and there was 15 other foster children. They did it for the money. And since we were newbies, we were graced to be able to take the last bath with the same bath water out of all those kids. They didn't change the bath water. Now, how in the hell does the state of Connecticut allow shit like that? Some other kid was slinging a belt around the buckle, hit my brother, and just sliced his forehead. And I saw it. I couldn't do a damn thing. They removed him, put him in another foster home. So I was separated with my brother for 3 fucking years. I lost 3 years with him. Then he dies at the age of 19. 3 fucking years. So how do you deal with grief? Fucking look at it in the eyes. You just look at grief in the eyes and you say, okay, let's do it. Let's get it done. Focus on what you need to do. Sure, it's unpleasant. Don't hide it. Don't put it in that vault like I did for years. No, don't do that. Man. There's my neighbor there. Now, the neighbor there, his heart stopped right in front of his daughter, okay? He's 60 years old. He's younger than I am. She happened to know CPR and was able to get his heart started before the paramedics arrived. And he was in the hospital for a month, and they couldn't figure out what caused it. And I was talking to him, and I said, I think I know what the issue was. It was stress. It was stress. He said, you know what? I said, I think you're right. Because it was the silliest thing. I was so aggravated trying to fix. He does woodworking. He was trying to fix his router, and he wanted to get it done. couldn't fix it. So that stress caused him that something to short circuit in his body. And he said apparently it was an hour later after that. Just felt funny, he felt weird, started to turn different colors, and boom, his heart stopped. So is it so important to allow things or people to put you in that state where you can short circuit and your heart just stops just like that? You have to learn how to have inner peace. You need to try to get away from whatever is causing you that kind of energy that wants you to short circuit, that could stop your heart, cause you to have a heart attack, cause you to have an accident. You have to be able to do that for your self-preservation. I never graduated high school, but I did go to the library, and I self-taught myself. Because of that and my natural born intelligence, my IQ is 211. Not bragging. It's not the highest IQ, but I've learned how to fix my problems, and I help others around me when I can that will help themselves. If they won't help themselves, I'm not going to enable their bad behavior. So then my brother is moved to another foster home. So the parents took it out on me, didn't feed me right. I had to sleep on the floor. But that's all right. They made a surprise inspection, and I was moved to the most beautiful angels, two older people. I don't remember their name. They lived out in the country. It was in West Haven. I think it was West Haven. I might be wrong, okay? Might have been New Haven, but it was out in the country. They were beautiful. And they had an old, I can remember them because they had an old grandfather clock. And the grandfather, I would just call him the grandfather, he was about 70. His wife was about, say, 65. And he told me the story of that grandfather clock. He said his great-grandfather built that when he came over from Ireland. And I can't remember the name of it because it was famous at the time and sought after. I remember he told me that the clock was worth $10,000. Then, can you imagine what it's worth now? It was the most beautiful artwork I've ever seen. The pendulum was made out of silver with a gold plating. An inlay was just out of this world. It was so quiet, you could hardly even hear it. He said he only had to wind it once a year. And it was only off 30 seconds for the whole year. So that's how I remember them. And I remember the lady, the grandma, the food, the cooking. After starving in that foster home for 2 months, and that incident with my brother, what happened? It was like heaven. I went from hell to heaven. And I remembered that their daughter would come over and her husband. They were beautiful people. They were interested in adopting me. But I told them about my brother. I said, my brother would have to be adopted too. I don't want to be away from him. So because the state of Connecticut had certain guidelines at that point in time, they couldn't do it. So, but you know, if that happened, my life would have been pristine. I wouldn't have had all the pain from 1969 to 2026. That's a long time. That's a long time. 50-something years. Think about it. Next foster home was pretty good. I was in 15 different foster homes before I went to Curtis Home, which is now a nursing facility. Curtis Lemieux was his name. Built it in the 1800s. Now, they demolished it. We were still in the old, this thing had paranormal things happening. This was like 5 stories, Victorian type structure. We weren't allowed to go in the upper, just the 3 first floors where all the children were. Actually, the first floor was like a kitchen type situation. Then the other 2 floors were where we had our beds, our lodging and everything. The basement, they stored things. So we stayed there and we saw the construction of the new Curtis home. And it was, they broke ground 1970. No, 1970, 71. And it was built quick. And they moved us in there, and then we saw the demolition of the old Curtis home. I was there for a while. But I'm telling you, there was an angel, a human, an older lady, older Italian lady, Sicilian, named Florence. And I often feel her spirit. So she would come in like 1 a.m. and stay there till 9 a.m., sometimes a little earlier. We would talk. Such a beautiful, spiritual human being. She would bring me, cookies and snacks and toys, because, you didn't have many toys. They didn't have much allowances for toys at that time there. Pretty much it was on your birthday or Christmas. So this is how I alleviate stress. Is take a water bottle and you just bend it, squeeze it. So I know that she's passed on because she was in her 60s back in 1970s, 71, somewhere around there. But she was also in the older Curtis home, and then she worked in the newer one. And we talked about the paranormal things that went on. I saw apparitions in there. She was a Catholic. She would bring her rosary beads in. She was very powerful. But she said something. One night we're sitting there at the table, eating some cookies and milk. And we smelled like what smelled like burnt rubber. And at first we thought it was a fire. And this thing just started slowly, this apparition, black, went by the hallway. These red eyes. I never saw an old woman move that fast. She grabbed her purse, got those rosary beads out, went down that hallway, commanded that thing. to leave, and I heard a screech. That thing screamed. I didn't see it when she went down the hall. So she was like more than a mentor. Because my real grandmother was a wicked witch, just like my mother, a wicked witch. She abused the shit out of me, beat me. My mother would drop me off, and I said, please, Ma, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. You're going to be here. I tell you, you're going to do what I tell you to do. I dreaded to go on over there. That woman would beat the shit out of me. So what's your grief? I will look at the comments shortly, and if I can help you, I will. But I've already put this energy, this healing energy of reparation and love, peace, and joy to help you grieve, to go into that bunker or that safe or vault and pull that grief out and deal with it. Don't fear, just do it. There's angelic beings that will help you. God will help you. If you don't believe in God, it's okay. You have the necessary means and energy to do it yourself, even without me, even without. So I hope that you're doing as I suggested about helping each other on these comments. I see there's many messages held for review, so they're still trolling, but it's okay. They won't have a very good day today. Make fun of a human being just because to you they look funny, they look different, they talk different. You're able to troll them and not listening to their words and their hurt and their grief. You're going to burn in hell. You're going to burn in hell. I guarantee you. I do believe there's a hell, whether it's on this earth or whether it's somewhere else. If you're that malicious, you're done. You're done. I can assure you, my friends, those that are hurting you right now, there may be children listening to this, and that's fine. They're going to get theirs. I will propel the most beautiful, powerful force to rectify whatever is going on. I love children. I love older people. I love people with special needs. I was at Walmart here locally about 4 or 5 years ago, and this woman was beating the shit out of her kid unmercifully in the cart. Everyone was watching. I walked over there and I put her in a headlock, held her for the police when they got there. But no, they were just watching. They were afraid to help that child. No, not me. I'll be there so fast. I don't wait. I don't wait until a lot of damage is done. So you trolls, and I'll only say this one more time, if you dare to get into my field of love, peace, and joy, our field, this conversation, and you say something malicious. Now, if you make a mistake and say something, that's a different thing. Come back, make another comment, say, I'm sorry, I didn't, that's fine. But if you don't, you're screwed. You're literally screwed. There's going to be so much power, so much so much. Well, let me get off that subject. I'll continue on with my story, and at the same time discuss this amongst yourselves. This might go on for hours, okay? And it's okay. I'll be here. I find it necessary. This is why I was feeling down. Yesterday afternoon, Cheech and I took a little nap, and I felt like there was a weight in a cloud. Then I realized it was my sister's birthday tomorrow. I said, I'm going to go ahead and just totally take it out of the vault and take care of it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we got Billy Bob something over here. Have a good day, my friend. I've had people stop over here all the time. No big deal. Probably think it's some kind of junkyard or curiosity, or maybe a museum. All right, laughter. That is something you need to incorporate. We most likely, even the most, we all have personalities. Even the most serious-minded personality most likely laughed when they were a child, okay? In fact, I have the ability, and I used to make money doing it. Someone would be stupid enough to bet that I couldn't make them laugh. Well, I didn't really need the money. A lot of times I'd give the money back to them. But believe me, I find a way to make someone laugh. However, we're on a serious subject. That will be for later. So Florence was an angel to me. Then Florence passed away. That hit me hard, really hard. However, a couple of weeks later, the universe, God sent me someone else, and there were two different people they hired and for the night shift. First one was a gentleman. He was okay and everything, but he didn't really have a nurturing personality. However, there was another older lady, and her name was Linda. She was a beautiful person, a lot like Florence, but nothing like Florence. Yes, chewing on these things that kind of help. I don't have really any anxiety, or I decided to end my ketosis, my intermittent fasting. That's how I maintain my weight. Cold showers, ice bath. So I'll zip up a little bit. So the sad and the hurtful thing is I never was able to find out about my brother. He was in just foster homes until 1970. My mother got my brother back, and they moved to Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. I was still, for some reason, I don't know why, but I was still there. In Connecticut, in Meriden, Connecticut, by the way. That's where Curtis Home was. Now it's Curtis Home, the nursing home. You can look it up and see. There's vague information on the old Curtis. There is information on the children's home in Curtis LeMue. The late Curtis LeMue. So that was difficult. Of course, I didn't see my mother or father because the way the law was, they were child abusers, and my mother and father got away with it. They were exonerated. Thus, once that was done, she got the rights back of her children. And I was a fool. I could have, if I protested and said I don't want to go. But I didn't really, still being my mother, I really didn't get, it wasn't really that bad until when I got to Jacksonville, Florida in 72. And it was a culture shock. I'm going to tell you, back then, the school system, it was hell. There was segregation, racism, this shit, that crap, rednecks. I got bullied. I got my ass beat. I was abused, shot at with firearms, BB guns, walking to to school. It was the armpit of the South. Jacksonville was the armpit of the South. It still is in some ways. I dread to go to Jacksonville, Florida. I'm armed, big time. Here in my little town of McClenny, yes, I live in McClenny, Florida. Yeah, we make fun of each other. I do, different parodies, but this town, people will help you. They don't take no shit, though. They will not take any shit. You disrespect someone here in McClenny, you'll find a real man or a real woman. You'll get a good old-fashioned ass whipping or worse. Crime is extremely low here. So it all went to hell in a handbasket from there for myself and my brother Brian. My father was not present. He wasn't a typical father, didn't teach me how to defend myself. He just said, oh, ignore him. Exactly how he talked. Oh, ignore him. Stop worrying. Who cares? But if someone pissed him off, he would fight. But he never taught me to fight. He didn't give a shit. Someone could be beating my ass out there. He didn't care. My mother didn't care. That all changed, though, when I was in high school. In the 10th grade, the big bully who was a black belt in karate, every time he saw me, he kicked my books out of my hands. Okay, we didn't have book sacks then. We carried our books out of my hand. Well, one day I had enough. I turned it around for myself then. He went to go kick my books, and I had extreme fast muscle twitch, always had. So I'm proficient with Taekwondo, very quick. For my age, very quick. So he attempted to kick my books, and I grabbed his foot and twisted. He ended up on his face, broke his nose, bleeding there in the hallway of Sandalwood High School, mind you, the hellhole redneck high school. Who knows what's going on now? And I broke his knee. So much force. And I didn't get in trouble for it. No, I didn't. In fact, a lot of people respected me. I never had one bit of fucking trouble after that. From that point on, no trouble. No trouble. Because that's what it took for myself to gain that extra courage and strength. So all those bullies that bullied me, if I chose at that time to be a bully and beat the shit out of them, I could have. I didn't. I just minded my own business. Most of the time I wasn't present in school because I really hated it. So I'd go to the library, skip school, go to the library, learn, 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 learn. It was great. Then I'd go, there was a wooded area, I'd go camp out there. Sometimes I would stay there for days. Did my mother care about me? Hell no. Wasn't even concerned. She was just all just involved with herself. I'm going to have to prepare myself to look at the comments. If you would, when I do that, if you don't think I should look at the comments, because I'm still in a fragile state of mind right here, dealing with all this, to put this on the table and open up my life, it's not easy. But I'm doing it for myself, for you guys. Hopefully I'll help others, okay? So look at the comments. If there's something there now, let me know, because I'm getting ready in the next few minutes to go ahead and look at the comments. So regardless of what was going on in my world, I made it better. I learned how to do things. Like, I love woodworking. I learned mechanics. I had a lawnmower that someone threw out, and it was a piece of crap. It was an old Briggs & Stratton. It wasn't even 3.5 horsepower. It was less. And it had a bent crankshaft. It didn't have the shroud, so I would take a rope around the flywheel and start it. But I made money. I bettered myself. I straightened the crankshaft with a big hammer, rotated it, boom, till I got it straight. And that summer, I made $900. That was a lot of money back in the 70s. A lot of money. And rebelled against my mother's, I bought a motorcycle. Beautiful XL 350 Honda. Oh my gosh, it was a 72 XL 350 Enduro, off-road, on-road, and a really good bike. And paid $400 for it. And it was only a couple of years old. And wait a minute, no, it wasn't. It was more than that. And of course, my mother, she was always, you better give me the whole pay for room and board. That's how she talked. You better give me the whole pay for room and board, fucky. Fucky was my nickname. Fucky, not Bucky, Fucky. I laugh about it. You can laugh about it. You can leave a comment. I'll get it. It's okay. That's not trolling. Say, hey, Fucky, this is your mother, Fucky. Because it helps me heal. I hope my laugh is contagious. Laughter is a good thing. My first girlfriend, she was a sweetheart. Yeah. Her name was Callie. Callie, C-A-L-L-I-E, Callie. I used to call her Callie the kitty because she was cute. And it broke my heart. They moved. And that broke my heart. I don't have no idea where she is, but hope she's still alive. Hope she's doing well. Um, I started to become very popular in school. Didn't do sports too much. I mean, my mother and father, they didn't encourage me either way. So the worst thing that happened to me is the church bus. The worst freaking thing that totally derailed my life for years. Now, you Christians know what legalism is, right? Well, at that time, I would say that a lot of Christians were nothing compared to what they are now. They're more educated, more evolved, I would say more spiritual. Back then, they were trolls, literal trolls, church trolls with very large print Bibles that weighed 30, 40 pounds. They'd knock you over the head with it. So I got picked up by the church bus, my brother and I. And boy, was that a culture shock. That went on, my mother and father, they never went to church. They just did it to get rid of us. Mainly my mother. My father was always working. My mother would say, "You ungrateful bastard, you better go out and get another job. I want another car, you bitch." That's what she sounded like. What did my dad do? Went out there and got another job and drank himself literally to death. He'd say, "Oh, shut up, you bitch." "No pay, Frankie." Call him Frankie. His name was Frank. Francis Raymond Spring. We called him Frank. Good man, though. But boy, was he pussy whipped. The poor guy, he had a girlfriend on the side because my mother would never give it up. Oh, maybe when she got a new car. Twice a year sometimes. That old man worked so freaking hard. He worked at Kmart 50 hours a week, right? Then he worked at the car wash, Rainbow Car Wash on Atlantic Boulevard. I don't know if it's still there. He worked almost 24/7 for her to have nice clothes, a car. He worshiped her. She had him under her spell. And us too. She was God's gift to the universe. The most wickedest woman I have ever met in my life. My mother, Mary Ann Spring. Her maiden name, Mary Ann Marciano. And yes, I am related indirectly to the great late fighter Rocky Marciano. I do have his genetics. Comes in handy. So on the church bus, and of course they're singing a song. One was bringing in the thieves, bringing in the thieves, bringing in the thieves for Jesus, or pickpocketing for the Lord, pickpocketing for the Lord. Not quite, but you get it. If you're happy and you know it. This indoctrination, hatred, turmoil, jealousy, destructiveness, sexual abuse, physical abuse. Oh, there, right there, in daylight. So finally, I just said I'd rather meet the wrath of my mother than get on that church bus. My brother went, I didn't. She called the cops. The JSO, yes. I don't know, I guess they still have the bold city of the South, or the new bold city of the South on their cars. Well, the cop was bold. He said, "Ma'am, you called me here when I could have been out and about taking care of criminal matters. about this? And she went, beep, 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 beep. He put her ass in handcuffs. I said, oh, here we go again. To the foster homes. To the foster homes. Which, that probably would have been a good thing. Well, we zipped through over an hour on this. I hope it's making a difference for you guys. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, at this point, it was seared in my mind about that yellow bus, the bus, whether it's a school bus or church bus. I still have a painful feeling when I see one. We'll get on that subject sometime about school and how it's not necessarily the best thing for children or teenagers these days, the way they indoctrinate them. You know, there goes Amazon. Oh, FedEx. Well, throughout the years, I became a teenager. 16. Actually, you know what? No, earlier than that. At that point, I believe it was 14 or 15. You could work, get a worker's permit. And I worked, my first job was, and it sucked, Winn-Dixie. They were some slave drivers back then. I'm a survivor of Winn-Dixie. So, here I am. Working at Winn-Dixie, that's Bubba J over his super, probably the fastest truck in McClenny. Like 1,200 horsepower. He's got a switch he flips, and the headers are open. Opens up the header, so you hear all that brute force power. And then eventually he closes them, and you'll hear, see how the noise drops down? Apparently he was pissed off this past July 4th. It sounded like freaking a damn stock car race. I don't know if you got any trouble in that subdivision. There's $500,000 homes over there. He smoked. I could see the smoke from here over there, from him burning the tires. Unbelievable horsepower. So we'll get back to working at Winn-Dixie, and the assistant manager was a real asshole and a moron. I called him the semi-automatic. The semi-automatic can stuffer. He could take the cans out of the box and go and just stick them up there like cases of cans of this, of that, of this. It's how I want you to do it, boy. You looking at me now? That's how I want you to talk like that. You got to do it just like this. All the trolls still on the channel. Maybe I shouldn't even look at the comments. I will. You probably don't see them, but I see them. There's tons of them. So this message is held for review. If I click on it, it says a moderator is taking care of this, or a moderator has taken care of it. Or sometimes it says this person has been removed from YouTube. So you want to keep trolling, you'll have to troll somewhere else. Usually what they do, they'll get on their mother or father's account on YouTube or grandmothers and screw up their account and do that same kind of trolling. Little shitheads. So, Winn-Dixie, that was an experience. Then I worked for Morrison's Cafeteria. That was hell as a dishwasher. That was a literal hell. And I was making like $2 and something an hour. Then, when I was 16, I worked for Gate Petroleum Company. Atlantic Boulevard, Gate gas station. This is when gasoline was rationed. And mind you, that was an experience. I got no breaks. I worked 10 hours straight, just to use the bathroom. That's it. No lunch, no nothing. At $2.65 an hour. It was hell. People with bad attitudes. My boss, bad attitude. He was an alcoholic. In case you're wondering what I'm chewing on, it's these things. Sour Patch. So, when I was 16, I moved out of my mother's house. She found me, though, and tried to make hell for me. So I lived walking distance to the Gate gas station in a mobile home for it was so cheap. Furnished. It was like $80 a month. $80 a month. Unbelievable. I bought a little Suzuki 50cc motorcycle for transportation and rebuilt it myself. Put a new piston, rings, honed the cylinder myself. And I had my independence, but my mother would come and bitch me out. You should never leave your mother. You only have one mother. And my coworkers would say, what in the fuck? That's your mother? It was downright embarrassing. It was. It was. So she had a 71 Nova. She's persuaded my father, while I was sleeping, to take that Nova. Take my little Suzuki 50 and put it in the trunk. I never saw it again. She said, you better not have no motorcycles. But she still had jurisdiction over me. She was still my legal guardian. It was hell. I looked forward to the day I turned 18 years old, baby. That was a beautiful day of emancipation. Because I was on my mother's plantation. I could relate in some ways. Folks that have experienced slavery are still experiencing it indirectly. The way it's set up these days, you are a slave to the system, to your job. You don't own anything because everything's taxed. Even people, their inheritance to their children, they don't get it. They never, it's bullshit. It's this damn tariffs from King Trump. He's destroying our company, our country. And that's it. I won't get into politics, all right? But people that can't afford simple things because of tariffs. There's another troll. You probably don't see it. The messages that have been deleted. Sometimes they don't even make it where you can see them. The one guy, a subscriber, hopefully he's not a subscriber anymore, bitching at me about how I always complain about the troll. I don't see the comments. Of course you don't. You're not supposed to see them. So, I'll zip up. So when I turned 18, that was a good day. At that time, I had a Honda XL 350. That was a nice bike. So when I turned 18, my brother was in Connecticut, Stratford, Connecticut. And it was a culture shock, but it was good. I forgot. Of course, I was younger when I was in Connecticut previously. Several years younger. Being 7 years old, zip it up to 18 or 11 years later. 18. 18. While we were talking, I'll show you my. We'll go up. We'll have a little fun later on with this. You ever see one of these? I have hunted with this. It's a mini compound bow. Yeah. So on the lighter side. Later on, we'll have some fun with it. I won't hunt anything, but we'll fart around with it. It's got 150-foot range. So that was a ride all the way to Connecticut. And I'll tell you, the worst thing was the New Jersey Turnpike. I didn't know how it worked. So I spent all my money on the damn toll trolls up there. Every penny I had. Getting off the exit, getting on the exit. It was hell. Let's walk inside and see how things are going. I'm going to put this on charge. It's sitting for a little while, so. I've got to fix this kayak so I can take it to the lake. As we walk this way, I'll show you the router I bought. We'll get back on the subject. I'm going to turn this ugly privacy fence into this right there. And I'm going to donate my creativity, some woodworking stuff, to Al-Anon, for children, for teens. Well, that doesn't mean I'm not a productive member of society and get out of my freaking basement. Hey, Scoot. Come on, Scoot. Want to go outside? What you want to do? And where's my little lake, my other little guy? Oh, he's outside. Come on in. He should be running at light speed pretty soon. There he comes. Hurry up. That's how I call him. Cheech. Well, where is he? have to do the tweet thing. Tweet, 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 tweet. There's Mau Kitty. Come on in, Mau Kitty. Come on. Come on. Black cat. Goes with my black witches. Peach has probably got... There he is. He was inside. There's that little scoundrel. Okay, we're good. So, I have many projects. We'll get off the subject for a minute. Portable power station. That guy, I gotta fix him. That is a monster, 2,500 watts. You can run everything except the electric hot water heater in your house. So, the relay is bad in it. And I only paid $450 a few years ago. Now I go for $1,400. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to change everything up. I'm going to let you see the choo-choo train while I go do something. Get some coffee and stuff. Okay? So please enjoy this. Hang on. There you go. All right, I'll be right back. Where's my coffee cup? I bought this for $10 on Amazon. They had them on sale, $10. All right, let's get back on subject. All this stuff up in my pocket. So the guy that I built the push daggers for, he was very elated and happy about that. So, kind of took his mind a little bit of his grandfather that died. All right. Guess my battery is still good on that. So, I'm traveling to Connecticut. No, I'm not a sovereign citizen traveling. On my XL350 Honda Enduro with knobby tires. Okay, that's fun on a wet road. And that thing vibrates worse than a Harley Davidson. So I'm traveling, and boy, it's a ride. It literally is a ride. The New Jersey Turnpike there, the tolls through New Jersey. I didn't have much money from the get-go, but I had enough to make it up there with no problem until I got a job. So after that ordeal, I ended up in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. Never forget that town. I had no money. I was hungry and out of gas. So I stopped at the police station there, and I just explained my situation. And he said, well, you know what? He said, he I'll, the officer, very good man, he said, I'll spend the money and we'll wire your brother Western Union so he can send you some money. And sure enough, the next day I had $50, and they let me stay in a cell, right? So they didn't lock it or anything. But I'm in the cell, and they don't let the other shift know, the other cop's coming in, right? So one cop, he comes in and he sees the cell door open. He looks at me, he says, hold it right there, and he draws his gun. I'm like, hey, hold it right there, I'm gonna shut this door. Who are you? What are you doing here? Like, whoa, whoa. So he called the previous officer that was on duty, and that was all taken care of. They fed me. They McDonald's. And back then, Big Macs were big. You know, they weren't like Little Macs today. So I finally ended up in Stratford, Connecticut, with my brother, and he lived in a rooming house. It had this big room, and I stayed there with the room. And well, shit, a week later, I had a girlfriend. She was the most beautiful. She was Italian, like I. She was such a sweet young lady. Her name was Lisa. I knew, oh my gosh, she was sweet. We hit it off, and we did things together. She worked at the plastic factory, and you'd make 3 times as much up there in Connecticut than you would in Florida. So I was making $2 in Florida an hour. Connecticut, you're making $6 an hour. I mean, that's a lot of money back then. A lot of money. And you know, back in '79, yeah. I'm sorry, '78. So yeah, so life is really good for me then. Of course, my mother. The worst thing I was doing was calling her on a payphone, and she wouldn't let me call her collect. It was, oh my, I spent sometimes $20 in quarters because she wouldn't get off. You better listen to your mother, bitch. Here, I'll give you. I need to do this so you'll understand. Here's my mother. Since you ungrateful bastard! How dare you not listen to your mother? How dare you not listen to your mother? Then she got pissed off, and she go, ah! And pull her. She wore a wig. She had beautiful black curly hair.